Good morning, my beautiful friends. It is indeed a wonderful morning. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul, and we are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. This message reaches about 1,000 people a week, and it comes because you guys share it. So thank you so much for doing that. You guys rock. We're going to be working with my I Am deck today. If you've been here before, you know exactly how this works. Well, I'm going to pull a card off the top of the deck and ask you if you are the affirmation on the card. You're going to respond, I am the affirmation on the card, and you're going to do so out loud. And when we do that, we actually are able to take the thought form that's in our head, and then we actually put it out into the world. We make it real. The whole point of this exercise is to take these thoughts and make them real so that they manifest in our lives. So you're going to say, I am the affirmation on the card. Then we're going to write it down in the chat. We're going to put it there on the cyberspace. We're going to show other people that we believe that we are the affirmation on the card. And then we will respond to each other. I really love it. That's probably my favorite part of doing these wake-up calls is watching everybody respond to each other in the chat. It's one thing to hear me say it. It's another thing entirely to say it yourself. It's a totally different level to recognize it in somebody else, because when we recognize it in somebody else and they recognize it in us, it really allows us to recognize it in ourselves. So let's get started. Let's get started with pulling the first card right off the top, which says, I am thriving. I am thriving. I reap the benefits of a life spent in health, joy, and contribution. So now I am thriving. I reap the benefits of a life spent in health, joy, and contribution. Are you thriving? You are thriving. You reap the benefits of a life spent in health, joy, and contribution. Oh man, I definitely spent the first part of my life in health this morning. I attended another wake up call that I personally attend. My friend Brenda Jean actually does some yoga, and it is so good. 5 minutes of yoga in the morning. Doing 30 minutes of yoga for me is intimidating. Doing an hour of yoga is intimidating. Doing 15 minutes of yoga can sometimes be intimidating. Doing 5 minutes of yoga, easily done. I do it when I wake up in the morning and as I'm just kind of getting out of bed, and I stretch and really take care of the body, which takes care of me. And so I just spent that time, and she does a fantastic job of it. I actually always link to her yoga on my personal Facebook page. So if you are friends with me on Facebook, I encourage you to check it out. Anyways, I do indeed reap the benefits of a life spent in health, joy, and contribution. In fact, I'm just going to write that down in the chat right now so that it's real for me, so that instead of just being words that I said or a thought in my mind, it's now a comment on the internet. It's more real than it was prior. And let me tell you, it brings me special joy when people find my comment and affirm it for me in the same way that I affirm these things for you. So indeed, we are thriving. We're thriving today. And I love what the card talks about when it comes to thriving. The card doesn't say I'm thriving because I have a new Mercedes-Benz or a big screen TV. The card doesn't say that I'm thriving because I have a promotion at work or because I have a lot of money in my bank account. The card says that we thrive and we reap the benefits of thriving when we have health and joy and contribution. And it really does start with health. It starts with the health, the health that's up inside of our minds, our spiritual health, our mental health. It starts with having a narrative going on inside of our heads that is good for us to hear. How many times have you been accused by the voice inside of your head? I know it's happened to me. It used to happen to me a lot more. Then I started doing this. Now that voice hardly ever pops up. That voice that says that I'm not doing things right, or I'm not good enough, or that somehow things are going to go wrong. Everything is going to go wrong. So by doing this, I actually am able to circumvent that voice. And that's really where it starts off. And that mental health then expands to my physical health, because when I have these thoughts inside of my head that I am healthy, I go make healthy choices. I go out for a walk. I eat good food instead of crap food. I make healthy choices for myself. It starts with a healthy internal monologue, and then it goes into a healthy choices that I make for my body, including doing 5 minutes of yoga every morning, even when I'm grumpy and I don't wanna. So indeed, that's another really important thing. And then contribution. Contribution is so important. We don't work for money. People who work for money are some of the most miserable people I've ever met. We work to contribute. We work to help the teams around us succeed. And of course we get paid for that. Of course we make money for that. Of course we pay our bills with that money. Of course it's a joy to receive that money, just like it's a joy to contribute. But the people who just do it for money, in my experience, usually earn the least amount of that money because they're just doing it for money, because the people who run the team recognize that they're not there to contribute and consequently put them in the lowest of the positions, which don't pay hardly anything. And so they get the worst of both worlds. Not only do they get paid the least, they also end up doing the worst work and hating it and spending 8 hours a day hating their life instead of spending 8 hours a day really feeling like they're contributing something and that they're doing amazing work. And so I just find that the folks who do it just for the money are doing it for the wrong reasons. And so it's so important to transcend that and understand that, yes, of course, the money is important. And yes, we probably wouldn't be doing it if we weren't getting paid, but at the same time that there's joy and contribution to be found there. So ultimately, like what we do, how we contribute to this world is what makes us thrive. It is what makes us have, thriving like a green plant that is planted beside a still river. We are thriving today. So let's go out and thrive. This is your morning reminder that you're awesome, that you're incredible, and that you have everything necessary in your toolkit to do an amazing job today at whatever it is that you choose to do, at whatever dreams that you choose to manifest into reality today. You can do it. So I want to say thank you guys again so very much for those of you who show up, who comment, who share. Y'all are amazing, and I love you all. Aloha from paradise.